Hi, so today I'm making this video about something called borderline personality disorder, also known as BPD, also known as emotionally unstable personality disorder, or EUPD. I want to raise awareness and help people understand what borderline personality disorder is and what people like me who have it go through every day, because it's one of the most heavily stigmatised mental illnesses at the minute. And having people around me who understood helped me so much. Also, if there's people that end up watching this who think they have the disorder or know they do, hopefully watching this will help you understand yourself more and help you feel less alone. Because when I've been going through it a bit, watching things like this has definitely helped me. I just want to say that in this video I will probably be mentioning triggering things such as suicide and self-harm, so if that is a sensitive topic for you, please don't watch. Okay, so what is BPD? BPD is a personality disorder that affects people's moods and their relationships and the way they interact with other people. It's one of the most commonly known personality disorders, however, there's still not enough research around it and a lot of stigma. People aren't even entirely sure what is the main cause of it, although it has been linked to childhood trauma and abuse. Around 2% of the population have it, and around 7 out of 10 people with borderline personality disorder try and commit suicide, and 1 out of 10 people succeed. And those statistics are terrifying, which is why it's so important for people to educate themselves on what people are going through and what this disorder is. Before I go into how it actually feels to have BPD, I just want to talk about how you get diagnosed. So basically, there's a criteria of 9 symptoms, and to be diagnosed with BPD, you have to have 5 of these. These symptoms are an intense fear of being left alone or abandoned, unstable or intense interpersonal relationships, a lack of sense of self or not having a strong self-image, engaging in impulsive activities that are self-damaging, so like promiscuous sex or drug use or reckless spending, repeated suicidal threats or attempts or self-harm, severe mood swings, long-term feelings of loneliness or chronic emptiness, having intense feelings of anger or aggression or being unable to control your anger, and finally feelings of paranoia or disassociation. Us people with BPD have overactive frontal lobes, which is the thing in the brain that controls emotion and memory, and the glands that control the way we process emotion are actually 16% smaller than the average, which means we feel emotions a lot more intensely than the average person. So when something happens that may seem quite minor to other people, such as an argument with a friend, people with BPD feel the same level of emotion as how people would feel, say, when they're grieving for a loved one. Our emotional process is often likened to, say, you had a cut on your knee, and normally this cut would scab over, so if you hurt it again or hit it again, it would be protected. But BPD don't have that scab, so when something hurts us, it hurts us deeply. And because of trauma in our past or whatever has caused us to have this disorder, we also have that intense fear of abandonment, which causes us to act in ways that when we're not in an episode or when we're not feeling these intense feelings may seem out of the ordinary or extreme. So say someone doesn't reply to a text quickly, instead of thinking, oh, they're probably just busy, the BPD would make me think, oh, what if something's happened to them? You know, are they in trouble? Have I done something wrong? Say someone seemed to reply more bluntly than usual, then my brain would think, oh, they hate me, they're gonna leave me. And no matter how extreme that sounds, those feelings and that fear of abandonment is so real, and that can obviously lead us to do things to, you know, calm those thoughts down. So maybe constantly phoning someone to check they're okay, that kind of thing. Or if we feel like someone's going to abandon us, then we will test them by trying to push them away. There's a saying that's used a lot in the BPD sort of world, and it's, I hate you, don't leave me. Because when we feel like we're being abandoned, or when we feel like our emotions are under threat, we will push people away, which is the "I hate you," because in reality we don't want them to leave us. So I will do things to try and push them away in the hopes that they will then turn around and go, no, like, I want to stay. I can say things I don't mean, I can act differently to how the real me, you know, if the BPD wasn't active, would act. But all I really want is the reassurance that my BPD is wrong, and the reassurance that you're not going to leave us or you're not going to hurt us. Because when we do get hurt and when we do get left, those feelings are so intense that it's unbearable. Like I said, it's how you feel when something terrible happens to you, or you lose a family member or something like that. That's how we feel to little things. People with borderline personality disorder are considered to be the psychological equivalent of a burn patient, because the way we feel is so intense. This is why it's so important for people who don't have BPD to understand it, so that when people around them are going through these feelings and are doing these things, people know why, and you can start to help that person, and then that person will feel less alone and less abandoned, because they have your support. Our feelings and our fears are so real to us that we just need your reassurance, and it's not because we want to hurt you. We don't say these things because we want to harm you. We don't say these things because we don't want you around. We say them because we do, and because we love people so, so much that losing them is terrifying. Because where we feel the negative emotions intensely, we also feel the positive emotions intensely. The way we love people, the way we care about people, the way we understand people. We have an understanding of how important people are and people's emotions more than the average person, because of the shit we go through. And because of our disorder, we feel like we're too difficult to be loved, we're too difficult to have sustainable relationships. But that is not the case. But if people understood what we were going through and knew how to deal with those episodes and knew how to help us and maybe create boundaries in relationships, then having them would be so much easier. These small thoughts and these fears in our heads can lead to such intense feelings that we feel like the only way we can stop how we feel, or the only way that people are going to understand us, or the only way that people are going to help us, is if we do something drastic to ourselves. When someone with BPD says they feel suicidal, even if you think 10 minutes ago they were saying the complete opposite, it is so real to us. I mean, 70% of people with BPD try and commit suicide. That's mad. That's not okay. When we feel down or when we feel suicidal, we need people to take us seriously. Because around the time when I got diagnosed with BPD and I was having these feelings and I was saying, oh, I want to do this to myself and I feel like doing this, like I had such intense feelings of loneliness and like I didn't have anyone even when I did, and I wasn't taken seriously, and I ended up trying to take my own life, which, because no one understood me, how could they? I didn't even understand me. And it wasn't until then that people started taking me seriously, and we need to stop letting it get to that point. I mean, I was diagnosed 2 years ago and I still haven't got the proper help that I need, which is another reason why it's so important that people know about this mental health But since then, I've educated myself and the people around me have educated themselves, and without that support system, I genuinely don't know if I'd be here today. And I'm so lucky to have gone through that, and in a way, I'm kind of glad that that shit happened to me, because now I'm in a position where I can stop it from happening to other people. If you have people with BPD in your life, then please try your very best to understand us and to do whatever you can to be there for them, because when I was first diagnosed, there was a lot of stigma around the illness and a lot of stigma around the things I was doing and the way I was. And I'm so lucky and thankful that I had people around me who didn't follow the stigma and instead read up about the illness and did everything they can to be there for me. And they've proven to me now that I can have stable relationships. And if you have BPD and you are watching this, then please, please, please get professional help wherever and whenever you can. Without the help and support of my friends and without professional help, then I don't know if I would have come this far today. In fact, I definitely wouldn't have. So if you do have symptoms of BPD, then I urge you to please go and see if you can get any sort of help. And if you have people with BPD in your life, then please don't listen to the stigma, please educate yourself and be there for them. Because all the people that I've found out in my life have BPD are all incredible people, and they care so much and they love so hard, and yeah, that is all, really. Yeah.